Yeah, so Obi-Wan has given us his list of names. There's a couple comments following this one, so we'll follow that up as well. So he's got Murray, Deontay Johnson, Jerry Jeudy, Austin Eckler, Aaron Jones, Nick Chubb, Travis Etienne, Kareem Hunt, Drake London, DeAndre Hopkins, the Denver defense, Melvin Gordon, Tony Pollard. Love Tony Pollard, by the way. Brandon Cooks and Cordero Patterson. Um, he also said his mistake was picking Kyler Murray over Herbert. We agree that's probably a mistake. If Herbert was on the board,
Yes.
I would have picked Herbert first, but you never know. Kyler could blow up. I think with Hopkins being out early, his throwing ability, I think he's going to have more rushing attempts and rushing yards and maybe some rushing touchdowns over Herbert. But I think Herbert is literally a gunslinger, probably more talented. He's right up there with Josh Allen in terms of talent and arm strength and things like that. And I think he has more weapons than Josh Allen, in my opinion. So overall, I do like Chubb over Andrews. That's debatable. I like Austin Eckler. I'm assuming that's your first round pick. I drafted Travis Etienne. A lot of other people wanted him, so I agree with that pick. Depending on where you took him, Drake London is a sleeper in a lot of teams. Hopefully, you took him later in the later rounds. I like the Hopkins pick, but just be aware that he's not going to be there for a little bit. Melvin Gordon, I love the Tony Pollard pick. Cordero Patterson, he's probably going to be hit or miss. I don't know that he's going to be huge for that offense. I think you might see him catch a lot of balls out of the backfield, honestly. But fellas, let's chime in here. Let's help our boy out here.
I think he is absolutely stacked in the RB room, and I would make a trade. I would go after whatever tight end you want, whether it's Pitts, Andrews, Kelsey. I disagree with him saying he messed up, saying Nick Chubb over Andrews, because Nick Chubb's is going to be a guaranteed. I don't know what league he's in, but I would say a 200+ point guy.
Yeah.
Andrew is going to be around 150, 160, maybe 170. So I don't think you messed up there. But you got a loaded RB room, and I would go use some of that ammo to go, get that tight end, or, if you want Justin Herbert,
I think there's some pieces there you could get him. I don't know that I would. I don't know, man. There's definitely with Eckler, Jones, and Chubb, and then Melvin Gordon, Tony Pollard as well.
ETN.
Yeah, ETN as well. That's a loaded running back room, my dude.
Yeah.
I don't know how you. I don't know how to be honest with you, because if somebody was watching you draft those guys you were doing, I don't know if you had that in your head going in. You're going to be running back heavy. I would find some legitimate wide receivers. Use those picks that you have. Grab some of those guys that would be, I would say 6th, 7th round picks normally. And you could definitely make some good your pieces that you have and improve your team overall. He also and Hopkins were late picks. I agree with those. Super cool with that. Obi-Wan, if you don't care, if you're still on here, give us a kind of rundown of how your draft works.
I just want to know the format. Is it PPR or not?
PPR standard. How many teams are in there? He said that he got hit bit running back happy, but which is fine if it's PPR. Usually go run back heavy because there's so many wide receiver choices that will drop. You're right. You can get really quality wide receivers late in drafts. But give us that information, and then we'll get back to you on. Okay, he's already got it. PPR 12 man. So you got all those running backs with a 12-team league.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
You stole those guys. You stole them. I will. You need to get some wide receivers, my guy.
The Chubb Andrews thing. I don't think it was the wrong decision at the time. You didn't know how that board was playing out. But seeing the running backs you got after him, like especially in PPR, Aaron Jones, ETN are different animals in PPR because that's where over half their production is going to be. So looking back, I would have taken Andrews over Chubb, but you couldn't see the draft board at that time. So I don't think it was a bad pick. I think Brandon Cooks is your best wide receiver. I'm high on Cooks. especially PPR. All the dude does is have 80 catches and 1,000 yards. Not worried about Deontay Johnson, but those other receivers do have some question marks. So just echoing what the other guy said, I would try to bolster that room with the insane running back depth you have.
And we're talking like 1.5 good receivers, and you've got a damn good team, dude. Maybe a decent tight end, but if you don't get one of the top 4 tight ends, don't make a huge difference. You can make up those points elsewhere. You can make those points with Kyler Murray, depending on who the other running backs or the quarterbacks are for the other teams. But
I wouldn't even trade for a tight end because there's so many available after those top 8.
Yeah, you could pick them up if you wanted to.
Njoku, Komet,
Freiermuth.
There's so many.
Dawson Knox if he didn't get drafted.
Hayden Hurst in Cincinnati.
He's going to be. I think he's going to have a big year. Probably not draftable, but we're going to move on to Swift season. He says full PPR draft incoming, 12 team. He's subscribing right now. We appreciate the sub. DeAndre Swift season. We love the love. Let's say we love everybody, right?
Frank. We got the new drop this episode. We love the love. We need the new subscriber drop whenever we get that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to. It doesn't tell me when they subscribe while we're streaming, like it does on Twitch.
Hey, just go off his word.
Yeah. So appreciate it. I'm gonna have a graphic ready to go that says thanks for the sub whenever you guys subscribe. So rate 1 out of 10. He's got Lamar. Love Lamar. Debo, Judy, Fournette, Akers, Komet, Elliott, Lazard in his pocket, Cordero Patterson, Rashad White, Khalil Herbert, Russell Gage, Darrell Henderson. Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it. All right, guys. 1 out of 10. ECR, 12 teams, right? What grade do you give this guy? By the way, while you're doing this, really quick, Obi-Wan subbed too. Appreciate you, brother. If I had a cool graphic to put up here, I would, but I don't. I'm going to have that next week. We got you. Let me click that back up on the screen really quick so we can analyze full PPR 12 team.
I'm going to go first because I know that my views differ on a few of these players than Frank and Dave's. So I'm probably going to be lower on this team. I've got you around a 6. And the reason why in full PPR, I don't think every player's draftable at the right position. But a lot of these guys, I think their value is in a standard format. Debo had 68 catches last year. Garoppolo was more of a Debo passer than Trey Lance is going to be. I think Ayuk gets a boost, and Debo maybe loses a little bit of receiving prowess with him. I'm low on Debo. I have him like back in my teens. Jerry Jeudy, the industry, the 100% split on right now. He's either the 20th wide receiver or he's the 40th, and nobody wants to talk about him. I'm more towards 40. That's just me. We haven't seen anything elite out of him since he came in the league. He was a great prospect, but he's been there for 2 years. Kind of underwhelmed. Fournette, if he's healthy and Brady still wants to play football, he's super underrated. He should be top 10 if those things happen. Supposedly he came in at 280. Brady might have been on Dancing with the Stars. And then
Matt,
Akers,
it was the Masked Singer. Get a raccoon. Yeah. Come on now.
And then Akers is the other one. Just so much injury. Not that he's going to get injured again, but what's he going to be like coming back? So because of that, I don't think there is a great floor here, which makes me nervous.
My favorite picks are probably, I like Lamar, obviously. I'm having trouble would Debo be your first round pick, I'm assuming? From looking at this, that's what I think. Coops, he means Debo as being, the end-all be-all weapon of the 49ers last year. He's not going to have to do that again. So his replication of his fantasy stats from last year, it's going to be really hard to get to, especially with Trey Lance, who people are really high on Trey Lance. I am not for some reason. It's just a gut feeling that I have that Trey Lance is not going to be what they want him to be. And we had this conversation last night about when Trey Lance was actually picked. And we were talking about they just gave Jimmy G a new contract. So if they were so confident in Trey Lance, why would they do that? You know, they're already signing their backup quarterback to another deal as a security blanket. So, So DeAndre said Diggs was my first rounder, but he traded away Diggs for Darrell Henderson and Debo because of Akers' handcuff.
Yeah, that I saw the Akers handcuff, and I thought that was I like that.
Yeah. That's interesting. I'm not a huge trader. I'll be honest with you, and they hate me for it. But we talked about this before. I don't have the balls to trade away good players because I'm always afraid it's going to come back to bite me in the ass. I'm not a huge fan of it, but you know it is what it is. When it comes for my rating for your team, before Coop said this, I was going to give this a 7. I do think there's a lot of value there. If Ezekiel Elliott does Ezekiel Elliott things and doesn't do crappy things like he has been doing, I think that's a great pick. Lazard is very quietly. People are mixed on him as well, but you know, Rodgers got to throw it to somebody, right? And he's the one that's been there the longest. So I think that's a shot in the dark, maybe, but it's a very accurate shot in the dark, if that makes sense. Tyler Lockett, I know I drafted DK on accident. We've talked about that before. So you guys that just came on, my internet timed out. I got auto picked with DK in the house that we were drafting, and I was pretty upset about it. If it come down to me picking 2 Seahawks wide receivers, I would probably go with Lockett. That's just my opinion. I don't think their quarterbacks are good enough to make a huge difference on who's there. It depends on which one plays and which one gets the most love. Rachaad White and Khalil Herbert, both of those guys, and even Russell Gage, dealing with some injuries, I believe. Both mostly under the radar type guys that if you get lucky and hit them big, good things can happen for your team. They might end up in your starting lineup. Cam Akers does scare me. I do like that you handcuff Darrell Henderson to it. But other than that, I gave it a 7. I think it's a solid team. If I had to guess where you would be ranked in terms of if it's ESPN, you can click on where you're ranked after the draft and what your projected standings would be. I would probably put you middle of the pack of your league. All right, we got a couple other ones. Our boy Jacob McCoy.
I love it.
Really quick before Jacob, Obi-Wan asked where we're from, and he said that we're from Carolina because Coop's wearing a Carolina hat. Totally not true. We're all actually from Kentucky. David was actually born in Virginia, moved here when we were like 7. We all went to high school together in a small town. Coop is a North Carolina fan for some godly reason we don't know. Me and Dave
30
both.
minutes from Rupp Arena. Let's go Tar Heels.
Yeah. We live about 30, 45 minutes away from Lexington. So me and Dave are huge UK fans. We love Kentucky sports all around. Dave currently lives in Illinois. Coop and I both live back in Kentucky in the same hometown. We probably live 2 miles apart. Dave is like 500 miles away from us currently. So just quick shout out to who we are and where we're from. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, help us out.
We did start the trifecta because we were in a triangle, but Coop was in Virginia.
Coop was actually in Virginia. So we was in 3 different states back when we very first started the podcast. It seems like forever ago, but it really wasn't. It were 25 episodes ago anyway. So back to our buddy Jacob McCoy, who also we graduated with. Shout out to Jacob. He's got Kyler Murray, Austin Eckler, Saquon, Stephon Diggs, Pat Freiermuth, Breece Hall. It's his first year playing. He feels like he did all right. What do you guys think? He's also got Cooks at the flex. That's in another comment below. We're not going to put that one up there, though.
I love it. I think it's great. Eckler's, can't miss first rounder. Kyler Murray, just make sure you have a quarterback after week 10 when the Cardinals decide to go 0-7 to finish the year. Don't want him in the playoffs. But I think Saquon's being slept on by everybody. I'm not sure what round he got him in, but I know he's been going in like 4th or 5th round. I think that's an absolute steal. I think he's going to be healthy. He's going to get a ton of carries. He might be in the CMC range if he's able to stay on the field. Stephon Diggs is Stephon Diggs. I mean, you can say Gabe Davis or Isaiah McKenzie or
I
Dawson
love
Knox.
Stephon Diggs.
Or
Love him.
they might steal some catches, but Stephon Diggs, I think he's a can't-miss wide receiver. Freiermuth is going to be good, and Brees Hall, I mean, I wanted him tonight, and he got snaked from me. So I think it's a good, safe pick for whatever round you're able to get him in.
Actually, I helped my wife with the draft tonight a little bit. She does fantasy football. She actually was in our league quite some time ago. Did really well. I helped her at none. I mean, she beat my ass all the time. But she was doing her draft tonight, and I was kind of helping her around with it. And I mentioned maybe taking Brees Hall. It was, 6th, 7th round. He was still there, and I was like, babe, take that guy. You got good running backs and you got really good receivers. It won't hurt to have that in your bag as well.
Man, she's coming at you in the comments.
I will say this. Shout out to my wife. She doesn't watch our show. She doesn't.
Yes, she does.
She's watching now. But yeah, she finished 2nd in the league, and we're like, no, we can't have that happening.
No, but, you said you couldn't have that.
No, I didn't.
That was a weird year. I missed the playoffs. That's the only season I haven't made the playoffs. So something was wrong.
Yeah. But anyway, Jake, shout out to my wife. Love you, babe. Appreciate it. Can you go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel while you're at it? I don't even think she subscribed. I love Jacob McCoy's. Go ahead, Coop. I don't want to.
My only thing is I'm not normally drafting Brees Hall because the question mark is New York going to let him be the bell cow? But this is the perfect build to do it because you don't need him.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter if he sits on your bench for 8 weeks.
You have
they finally turn it over.
I'm torn as to how he got Eckler and Saquon and Stephon Diggs.
He got Saquon in the 3rd. It went Eckler, Diggs, Barkley. Almost guarantee it.
Probably. But that's a solid haul, dude. I'm not going to lie. Jake, you did pretty good, bro. And he's got Brandon Cooks at the flex. So, Josh Weaver, super loyal listener, comments on all of our stuff. Kobe says you have Eckler, Kamara, Pitts, and you're starting at ETN or Cortland Sutton. PPR, who you taking?
Oh, that's no doubt.
Sutton.
Yeah.
Definitely Sutton for me.
Coop loves Sutton. And then he said he took ETN, went running back heavy. Not his normal build, but told himself that he was going to take the best player available.
It's not. Listen, the top half of your leagues, the top half of your draft, you're not gonna win your league in the top half of your draft.
No, you went in the bottom for sure.
You can lose it, but taking an upside pick, an RB1 on a what's supposed to be improved offense, it's not a bad pick. I would have taken Sutton, especially with the build you had so far, but it's still a great pick. You have Travis Etienne. He's like one of the biggest boom players in fantasy football this year. Everybody loves him. So that's all I got on that.
But what's our mantra though, boys? At the end of the day, when it comes down to it,
pick players on good teams, good offenses.
Pick players on good teams, and ETN is on a bad team. Sutton should be on a good team.
Yeah, I mean he's with a better quarterback. I wouldn't say necessarily he's on a better team, but
they had the best defense last year.
Offensively, though,
they had
change one player.
Williams and Melvin Gordon.
Whatever.
They had a pretty good offense with no quarterback.
All right, I'm wrong. Okay, I'm wrong. Forget about it. I suck. I know. Right. Coach Whitaker, this is a 12 non-PPR, so it's standard scoring. He's got Burrow, Johnson, DK, Taylor. Is that Jonathan Taylor, I'm assuming? Connor, Mark Andrews, Pollard, Mike Evans, Olave, D-Hop, Jameson Williams, or Javonte Williams. I'm not sure. And then Everett, Robinson, and Matt Ryan. Ain't nobody telling us what kickers you guys took. Just kidding. That don't matter.
Yeah, how come nobody's taken 2 defenses yet? I thought I set the standard for that.
My favorite picks. I picked Olave in a couple. Well,
man, y'all being all my favorite picks. My favorite picks.
I just don't like being mean to people, Coop. Got to build up their.
I'm not being mean. People are asking for advice, so we want to, tell them where.
I already said that I don't like DK. I don't like DK. He's on my team, but I didn't pick him. Somebody else did for me.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow is going to be a solid quarterback. Obviously, I'm a Bengals fan through and through. Love Cincinnati Bengals. Burrow's going to help us win the Super Bowl. So if you don't think so, get out of my way. I don't know. What rating would you give this out of 1 out of 10? 12 man. Keep that in mind.
It's non PPR as well, right? I think I saw that in their comment. I'm going 7 because of the strength of those two running backs. I think you can make a case that James Conner is a top 10 running back in non PPR. Yeah. My concern with this team is I don't like Thomas and Hopkins on the same team. That's 2 huge question marks. And Hopkins, his production was a little limited at the end of last year. Like it wasn't regular DeAndre Hopkins. And then he's coming off a 6-game suspension. And then we haven't seen Michael Thomas in 2. What's he going to look like? And your wide receiver room, Deontay Johnson's going to be good. He's going to be top 20. He does it every year. DK, we don't know. I'm kind of split. I go back and forth on him. But I think that those 2, I like having one of them because if they hit, they're league winners. But both of them is a lot of risk. And you're going to have to use them.
Y'all, just really quick, you guys are killing this chat up. I can't even keep up with all of it. We appreciate it. If you're in here and you're, we're trying to get everybody's questions. We try to stay on for an hour. We might have to extend it a little bit longer tonight just to kind of help you guys out and answer some questions you guys have. While you're here, if you haven't subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, like us, share the video, move over to YouTube, sign in, search us up, subscribe on there. We're trying to get to 100. I feel like, we've gained more subscribers since we started streaming than we have for the multitude of weeks that we started doing this. So we appreciate all the love. We really do. Next one, we have grade trade, please. He's had a 14 team HPPR.
Half PPR.
Start 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, 3 flex. 1 is wide receiver tight end only. This guy, we try to mess around with things, make it a little bit interesting. Jake from State Farm. Love the name, by the way. He traded Jerry Jeudy and Jacobs for Saquon and Wan'Dale. His roster is who blocks the trade already. He's got Saquon, Edmonds, Gibson, and Miles Sanders. His wide receivers are Pittman, DJ Moore, Godwin, Kirk, and Wan'Dale. I like
my rule. My rule of thumb in most trades is the best player is usually who wins. It's not always the case, but if you come out of the trade with the best player, most of the time you've won the trade. And this one's definitely true for me.
So he got Saquon out of the deal. You think Saquon's the best player in that trade?
Yes.
Well, I think he got rid of 2 guys that are question marks. I mean, Jerry Jeudy's going to be the second guy. Josh Jacobs might not be with the Raiders for a while, and he went and got a bell cow and I think a high upside guy in Wan'Dale.
Yep. Yeah, Wan'Dale's unproven, but so is Jerry Jeudy. I think Wan'Dale has just as much of a chance to break out right now than Jerry Jeudy does. And, if you go for Josh Jacobs or Saquon, anybody with a brain is going to pick Saquon over Josh Jacobs right now. But, Dude, killer draft. Appreciate the comment. I
love that wide receiver room. I think that's 3 guys with top 10 upside.
Yeah, he's also got Kyler Murray as his quarterback and Pat Freiermuth the tight end. Bryce is hating on us. Notorious Seahawks hater Frank Spencer. Bryce is a Seahawks fan and does not like anyone of the Seahawks either. Appreciate the love, Bryce. Let's see here. Here's a good question from Gabriel Maldonado. Appreciate the comment, Gabe. Raheem or J.D. McKissick?
PPR, McKissick, standard, Mostert.
Okay.
I actually go any format. I'd go McKissick. I think that
you got to show them your hoodie though first, Dave.
Well, yeah, the commies are down on Gibson.
Yeah, I got to see where that decision's coming from. Dave is a commies fan through and through.
But they're saying that McKissick's going to get early work since Robinson is out for the foreseeable future, and they're going to keep Gibson in that 3rd down role. It's kind of been the chatter that I've seen online, and I am not trusting a Dolphins running back ever.
No.
I think we talked about that in
Really?
prior season. Ever since who was the guy that got traded to the Eagles? Jay Ajayi.
JJ, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think there was another guy, Chase Edmonds. Wasn't he? Didn't he start there and then he went to the Cardinals? Like I don't know. If they have a good running back, they're going to trade him for draft picks.
Yeah, Chase Edmonds made his name with the Cardinals. That's how he got into the situation to begin with. And
Yeah, the thing I like about Mostert, he was the RB1 in San Francisco with Mike McDaniel and got hurt. That's how we met Elijah Mitchell. We didn't even know who that guy was until Mostert goes down. McDaniel comes over, he brings Mostert with him, and like you just said, Chase Edmonds is a third down back, right? He was a compliment to James Conner. I love Chase Edmonds this season, but I think Mostert he's the red zone guy on an offense that we expect to be much improved. I'd rather have a guy that's going to get that touchdown upside than the guy who's going to get the third down work for the commies, the Manders.
the Manders.
Well, we going PG now, boys.
I was just dropping both names out there.
Yeah. So my wife has subscribed to our YouTube channel, fellas. We're hitting it big.
Is that the first of the three?
The what?
Is that the first of the three wives to subscribe?
No.
Hannah was the
No,
first.
Hannah subscribed.
Yeah.
Dave, has your wife subscribed?
No.
All you guys that are subscribing to our YouTube channel tonight, we appreciate it. Like I said, Coop, we need like a sweet graphic that goes across the screen. Did have a question from Obi-Wan, who's been on the show all night long. We appreciate that, dude. He's asked if we were on Twitch. We are not currently on Twitch, but I can make that happen next week pretty dang easily. I've have very small experiences with Twitch. The program that we're running this through is called Restream. It's very simple, very easy for me and my current computer setup to handle. I stream on a MacBook Air 2021 model with the M1 chip.
Brag a little bit, Frank.
Subtle money drop.
So it does really good. I have to have it hardwired in my internet. That's a long story, but we did this the first time we had it.
I'm on
the first time we had this going, it was really glitchy.
And, sale.
Yeah, it was really glitchy, and like our voices were cutting in and out. Hopefully, it's a little better because I've got it actually hardwired into my computer for my internet connection. But Brian Markham said you can't have. I would be lying to you if I told you that I did not use a credit card to pay for this. It's almost paid off though. We're good.
Right, let's get through some comments. See how many we can get in before we wrap this up.
Yeah, I mean I'll stay on here for a while. I don't care. We got another team to rate. Spencer, this comment's been on here a while. We weren't ignoring you, Spencer. Me and you, common name. My name is Frank Spencer, by the way. 12 teams, 6 pick. Najee, Dak. Why y'all laughing at me? I hate you guys.
You're too easy, Frank.
CD, Pittman, Mike Williams, Freiermuth, James Conner. I'm assuming that's Gabe Davis. Rate 1 to 10. Appreciate the help.
That's a 10.
They already hated on my CD pick. Pittman. I'm telling you right now, Coop loves Pittman. I like Pittman too. I just didn't get a chance to get him. We've already had a conversation about Conner as well. Very potentially could be a top 10 running back in the league based on touchdown production. Gabe Davis is going to be a good receiver for the Buffalo Bills. I don't see a quarterback. Who's your quarterback? Let us know about that.
Dak.
Oh, sorry. I did see a quarterback. I'm not wearing my glasses. So
yeah, I'd give
overall,
this a 9.
I was going to say 8 or 9 for sure.
I'm 10. I can't find a place I don't like.
Coop likes it.
Especially in 12 team. I mean, you got CD, Pittman, Mike Williams, and Gabe Davis in a 12 team league. Like those are 4 of my top 24 wide receivers.
Spencer, you're going to win your league, big guy. If you don't,
he did.
I don't know.
He clearly didn't subscribe and listen to us throughout the entire season and know who to pick up off the waivers.
Yeah. So
can't win your league in the draft.
Yeah, appreciate the comment, big dog. Subscribe if you haven't already. We appreciate the love. We got anybody else? Bryce has a question. He says, "Who's your absolute favorite pick to draft from? What number you term in terms of like 1 through 10 or 1 through 12? I don't know. I like being in the front, and I like being in the at the very end because at the very end, the first round goes through, most of the guys that you want on your team are not there. You have a lot more to pick from that you can't fail. It's kind of fail proof at the end of the round. And I like getting picks back to back or really close together. I don't like picking and then waiting. What does suck if you're in the front or the back is once you make that pick at the beginning, there's 18 picks before you get your next one. But then you get two really good ones right away. If you're at the end, it's a little different story. But I like being at the front or at the end. I do not like being in the middle.
Depends on the league size. You're talking like we did 10. I would like to be in that 7, 8 spot. So I almost have a wraparound. I would say 8 if I'm picking one, because I almost have a wraparound. I can see how the board's falling before me, like kind of what the narrative of the draft is going to be, and set a strategy off of that. Like I said, I had the 5th one in this, and I was totally open to taking Josh Allen until I saw those first 4 picks. And then it allows you to kind of reset and figure out what you want to do. So I would say 8 in a 10-team league.
Yeah, I'd say I prefer that late round pick, that give me that 10 or 12 or 8 if you're an 8-man league, just because you can't really screw up. You're going to be given your choice, and you get 2 choices back to back. But the downfall for me last night was QBs went hot in the 3rd round or the 2nd round, and that happened right after I picked my 2nd round pick, and then it was, I think, 14 picks before I got to give it a chance to get a quarterback, and anybody worth drafting was already gone. So you have that risk reward. A lot of guys like that middle, so you don't have to wait. You only get those 8, 9 picks between your draft picks, so you don't really lose out if there is a run on position players or a certain position. But I prefer the late. I let Frank have that 1-1 pick and just screw up, and then just capitalize off of that.
If in this league, in any fantasy league this year, you can't screw up your first 3. If you're in the first 3, you can't screw it up. It's foolproof. Like we said, it's either CMC, Jonathan Taylor. In our opinion, it's Justin Jefferson. Any of those 3 in most leagues, you can't screw that up if you pick one of those 3. And then even Coop says that if I would have picked Josh Allen, he wouldn't have thought twice about it in our 12-team league or 10-team league. But shout out to Spencer again. He said, "Hell yeah, thanks boys. Subscribe." He's getting all of his buddies on. He really appreciates it. We appreciate that as well. Let's do. Josh Weaver's got a question here. He's got his main draft coming up. It's his most competitive redraft league starting tomorrow. He's got the 12th overall pick. Like we just said, we like the end of the rounds. I'm assuming it's a snake draft. I'm not sure. We've done drafts where it's not a snake draft before, so we're going to make an assumption that most people do snake drafts. Chase, Cooper Kupp are keepers outside the first round. Likely be staring at Swift, Jones, Kamara, Saquon, Diggs, and Adams. So I guess the question is, which one of these would you target if they're there with the 12th pick?
I actually had this exact same situation come up in a redraft league with a keeper. We only got one, and I had to choose between Chase and Kupp, and I went with Kupp. But I took the 12th round pick because I didn't have a 3rd, but I had Diggs as my 112. I'm not sure what your league is looking at, if everybody keeps the bell cows or not, but that's what my league did. So there was no running backs available when it got to me. I think it was Diggs and Mike Evans and those guys. So if you're lucky enough to have a Swift or a Jones or Kamara sitting there, I would say running back first. Try and get that, because there are good wide receivers beyond Diggs and Adams that'll get you, maybe not as many points, but similar. But, good luck to you, man, because there was nothing available for me when I had the 112.
Yeah, I would, out of those players, Kamara stands out to me. He would be the one I would definitely have ranked at the front of that group. But like Dave said, I mean, it totally depends on how that draft falls up to that point, up to your pick. But Kamara is kind of, I wouldn't say head and shoulders, but he's definitely got a gap on the rest of those guys for me personally.
Yeah, it sounds like he's not getting a suspension or anything from the league from that Pro Bowl altercation. So
Yeah,
sounds like he's
the
good to go.
video comes out like the NFL always does. They'll have to put one in, but we're like 9 months post incident and it hasn't dropped, so it looks like he's going to be safe this season.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. We got a couple of other teams here. Appreciate the love, Josh. Again, the comment section has been blowing up with us. We appreciate all of it. A lot of new subscribers today. Again, if you're watching, you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, hit us up on there. It helps out. Everybody talks about. I know you watch YouTube, about the YouTube algorithm, likes, subscriptions, comments. All that helps push our videos out to other people that haven't discovered us yet. Hopefully we give you some decent value and a little bit of entertainment along the way. Primarily right now. So let's see what I got here.
That's what we just talked about, isn't it?
Yeah, excellent. Click something. All right, we'll hit that in a minute. We're just finishing my thought there. It helps us out getting our names out there to other people who haven't done it. We're just, hopefully we give you a little bit of good content that you can laugh at and stuff like that. But we're not into. We do mostly fantasy stuff right now, but previously we've done coverage of everything. But I think our plan moving forward is to do fantasy football stuff throughout the whole fantasy football season, and then periodically through the week, maybe do some solo videos about other things in the world of sports. So if you're interested in other things, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and we have lots of things headed your way. Professionals by no means. We're just three dudes who just decided to start a podcast because we don't have anything else to do, apparently. But Gabe says, rate the team. 12-man PPR, Stafford, Najee, Pierce, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, JD, McKissick, Stevenson, Henderson, Brees Hall, Kelsey, Deontay Johnson. I don't know, man. What do you think?
I like it. I'm probably in that. I would say a soft 8 because I like the wide receivers. I like Deontay Johnson. I love Darnell Mooney. I think Keenan Allen. He's got one of those, DJ Moore insanely high floors. I don't love the depth at wide receiver. I'm not a Treylon Burks believer. You may have more on your bench, but 3 receivers I believe in is a little short for me. You have a ton of boom potential in your running back room. So there's going to be plenty of opportunity for you to trade and upgrade your wide receivers. But I really like all the running backs.
Yeah, I think that would be my piece of advice is go use some of these handcuff guys to go and try and bolster that wide receiver room. I mean, you might love Ramondre Stevenson, but if you don't, I would definitely go target whoever has Damian Harris in your league and try and, steal something. It's an easy pitch to say, hey, Stevenson's going to be the lead back more than likely halfway through the season. Same way with Darrell Henderson. And, Brees Hall, we talked about a little bit earlier. He could be the dude, or it could be Michael Carter's team for 8-9 weeks. You're going to have to wait that one out. And the one pick I really don't like is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He burned me in a couple leagues. You do? You like him?
Yeah, I think he's the unquestioned RB1 on a top 5 offense. And what we always say, draft players from good offenses. And who's taking work from him? I mean, is Jerick McKinnon going to steal that much? Is Isaiah Pacheco really going to come in as a 6th-round rookie and, take the goal line work? I just think Clyde's in a situation where, it's kind of like Dameon Pierce. Like, who else is going to do it except it's on the Chiefs instead of the Texans?
Yeah, but my problem with Edwards-Helaire is, A, he's had the injuries, and B, he has fumble issues. So I could see where, Jerick McKinnon came in the playoffs, same situation as Cam Akers. It was Clyde Edwards-Helaire the entire year, and then it was Jerick McKinnon who took him to the AFC Championship. So, I'm not a believer in Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm stuck with him in a couple keeper leagues because nobody will trade me. But that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. Really quick, we got a couple more, and then we're going to hop off here.
Little
If we
rapid
don't,
fire.
if we don't get to you tonight, we severely apologize. We've been on here almost an hour, 15 minutes now, and we could go all night, but I can't get my charger to work on my computer, and we're currently at 5%. So we got from Bambo, hell of a YouTube name, by the way, love it. Would you trade DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and commit for Waddle and Goddard 12-man PPR? You got 3 flex spots.
I
Who
would
says
not.
no?
And this kind of goes
I-
back to my rule I had earlier. The best player in the trade is usually the one that wins it, and DJ Moore is the best player in this trade.
Yeah, I don't think DJ. You lose a lot to get Waddle, and I don't think Goddard is a solid tight end, but again, tight ends are not going to be the end all of your team unless you have 4.
Yeah, I'm going to go opposite of this. I do agree that DJ Moore has the highest ceiling. I don't know if I'd say he's the best player because Jalen Waddle had if it wasn't for Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle is in severe contention for Rookie of the Year. But the reason why I would even consider this trade is that you have DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. We go back to our saying, draft good players on good teams. You have 2 players that are on a pretty bad team. And being able to get out of that handcuff is enticing to me. And I think Jalen Waddle I think he's a stud. We're going to have to see what happens with Tyreek Hill there. But I would consider it, maybe not a 3 for 2. I don't think Kmet and Goddard are that different. But
Exactly.
I don't know. I would rather have a guy on the Dolphins than 2 guys for the Panthers on my team. I like to hedge my team out a little bit, unless you're handcuffing, which I wouldn't
quick
handcuff
stat.
wide receiver.
One quick stat. There's one receiver in the NFL that's had 1,200 yards in the last 3 seasons. Just one, and that's DJ Moore.
That's interesting. Hopefully, you guys can still hear me. I've
Yep, we got you.
rearranged some wires so that my charger is now currently working. So hopefully, we can stay on a little bit longer and answer all the questions you guys have because I don't want to leave you hanging because most of you guys are very new to the channel. Again, if you're here, please subscribe. We would love that. For those of you who are asking, if you're on other platforms, we are the Trifecta Sports Podcast. You can look us up on YouTube. If you like listening to podcasts, this episode will actually be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts tomorrow, later on in the day tomorrow. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We stream on Facebook, on YouTube, and on my Twitter, my personal Twitter account as well. So holler that out there. Obi-Wan said, Gabriel, you robbed your league. Appreciate that. He's got a lot of fans out there. He says, rate the team, Hunter. 10-man, no PPR. You have Josh Allen, Najee, Saquon, Keenan Allen, Jets. I don't know who that is. Who do y'all think? Who's Jay Jets? Who is that?
That's Justin Jefferson.
How in the world do you have all these players? I love this team a lot. This is a 10 for me.
Yeah.
I don't think you can't get any better than this. You got AJ Dillon, Trey Lance as your backup. People love him.
Yeah, there's one huge mistake here. We don't need backup defenses. They finally got us 2 defense.
Hey, there we go. There we go.
No, I had to find something. That's it.
Dude, that team is that team's killer. You're winning. We're going to be doing updates every week with our personal fantasy league. So if you guys are wanting to chime in on how your teams are doing, if you guys come back, we stream every Monday night at 9:30. We try to keep it the same. Sometimes life gets in the way, but keep coming back, fellas. We love it.
If we didn't get to your comments, I'll go back through the video once we post it, and I'll drop that below. We'll give you a comment from us.
Yeah. So another good question from Facebook. We have from Marcos Valdez. Are you doing start-sit questions? We definitely, most certainly will if you guys get into your seasons. Monday nights is going to be a weird time because Monday Night Football is on, but we can start talking about the week following our stream because most of the time our show actually comes out on Tuesdays on YouTube and our streaming platforms in terms of music. So Obi-Wan says, one last thing. What player should I trade drop on my team? Let me scroll up really quick and find your team. This will be our last question, unfortunately. We all have an early morning, fellas.
Do we have a Twitter, Frank?
Not a Twitter for Trifecta Sports. My personal Twitter is what we use. It's at Coach Spencer PC.
We'll get a better handle than that.
Yeah, and I'll probably just make a Twitter account. We don't get a lot of Twitter. I would say
it's just
views.
a good platform for interactive start-sit questions. Is what I was getting at there.
Yeah,
they can ask those throughout the week.
That's definitely something we can do, and we'll make sure we all three have access to the handle. So be on the lookout for a Twitter update there. Obi-Wan, man, you're way up here. We've had a lot of comments. All right, here we got. What player should he trade or drop on his team?
I think you're going to get the most value and not hurt your team because this is full PPR, and you could flip Nick Chubb for somebody really good. It's not that I dislike Chubb. He's just got a little bit lower value in PPR. You've got Eckler and Aaron Jones, and you got the boom potential with ETN. He's a great player. He's a good pick. You can keep him, and he's going to help you. But I think you could get a really solid guy for flipping Chubb.
Yeah, I would cut Hopkins. I don't know if anybody is going to waste a roster spot for 6 weeks with him. In some leagues they are, depending. But the two guys I would probably look to trade would be Melvin Gordon and Tony Pollard. I think I said it earlier. Go after whoever's Javonte Williams and Zeke and trying to pick their pocket. Offer them the handcuff and get what you can for them.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said before, I don't trade a lot, but I do think it's better, like especially if you know the people in your league, to have a conversation with them through a text message beforehand and work something out. Because in my head, when I just get a random trade request from somebody, they're looking to pull one over on you. There's no conversation going on, but it is a good way to start a conversation. And then I would usually deny it, and then he texts back and say, "Hey, I don't want to give up this piece, but what piece would you like to give up?" Things of that nature. But
and Coop and I even talked about this last night. Not all trades are made equal. My team was really bad last year. I had nobody. Me and Coop made a trade. I ended up with Justin Herbert and Zeke, and I gave Coop
AJ Brown and Antonio Gibson,
and he went and picked up Joe Burrow off the waivers. And as he said last night, that won him the league.
Yep.
So not all trades are equal.
Yep. That's for sure. But listen, fellas, been a hell of a time on here. Communicating with our new, I would call it new fan base. Again, we stream every Monday night at 9:30. Once Monday Night Football starts, it'd be really cool because we can, have the game.
9:30 Eastern time. Frank.
Eastern Standard Time.
Might have some Illinois people out here.
Dave's on what's it called? I don't know. That's all.
Yeah,
all y'all got you got a bunch of cornfields. Driving to Quincy, Illinois is the most boring drive I've ever had in my life, and it happened in like 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, that was your fault.
But we had a hell of a time at that wedding, though, didn't we, Coop?
I think.
He doesn't remember.
I remember a lot of vivid details, and I'm sure our wives remember those same details.
What are we, 3 years post-event? And I'm still afraid to ask if I had a good time. I don't want those answers.
We'll talk about it offline.
Yeah, that's for sure.
No, we're coming up on 4 years.
Look here, Coop. My wife remembers.
Lindsay loved those not for fathers, sneaking them in the reception hall.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. But anyway, we appreciate you guys tuning in today to watch us, just talking bullcrap about fantasy football. I mean, it's something we like to do, and we're just on here on the internet doing it, putting it out there for everybody else to watch. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet on YouTube, please subscribe, like us, like the video, share it with your friends. Get on Spotify and download those episodes as well. That helps our what's called search engine optimization. So we get pushed out to these lists and charts and things so other people can discover us and maybe take us somewhere where we might not be available to go in the future without you guys. So again, we thank you guys. We love you guys. Again, I would like to send you guys off with a best of luck to your fantasy football seasons. They're kicking off this week. Would love nothing more for you to win your league, except for Dave and Coop, the league that they're in with me in it. But other than that, you guys got any parting last words before we head on out?
Hit the drop.
We did
Boom!
it.
This is sweet.